So, in the last episode, I talked about self leadership. And in this episode, I'm going to talk to you about self discipline. I am sometimes the worst about this. And I'm saying that because while I have a routine where I generally will wake up in the morning between 4:30 and 5, almost naturally at this point in life, when it comes to things like sweets or adult beverage, that self discipline kind of crumbles under the enticing display of those things. When I'm walking into a grocery store, or even looking at the snacks on display at work. Now, mind you, the snacks are in the cupboards, so I actually have to go in and open a cupboard in order to see it. But the sodas, man, they're a refrigerator with a glass door. They are right there. So self-discipline for me is something that I've got to work on all the time. And a lot of it boils down to the fact that I, like all of us, have a set of choices and trade-offs to make. I read a book years ago, Body by Design by Bill Phillip, and he said, you don't deny yourself a cheat day. You just make sure that when you structure your routine, especially with your fitness and your workouts and whatnot, you account for at least one day a week where you're going to indulge in your favorite dessert. For me, that's cheesecake. I really like cheesecake. So this concept of self-discipline is certainly, like many things in life, we just got to practice it. We've got to work on it on a daily basis. Much of the self-discipline in the structure that I got was compliments to the United States Navy. I was a very undisciplined young man growing up, to the point where, to be honest with you, there's like, I'm trying to think of how BN before Navy and AN after Navy. And the transformation that I went through to get to this place where I could find it within me to do the things that I needed to do in order to get the job done without somebody telling me, and do it routinely. That skill was developed as a result of my time in the military. And it became a very successful tool that it's held me in great stead all these years later. No one has to tell me that I need to get up in the morning to get ready for work and then do what I need to do during the course of the workday. It's because self-discipline is already embedded. It's a practice. It's a habit. It's the thing that I do almost automatically. In fact, that's one of the things that I've explored over the course of many years, which is self-discipline actually works to reduce cognitive load because the habits are ingrained. You don't have to think about them. They come naturally. And in the pursuit of that natural, near automatic response, your body, your psyche, you just become a very different person when it's in place, it's functioning. You're basically working through a normal routine. And it doesn't mean that you don't alter your routine, because novelty does have value, and doing things differently does have value. And a lot of that goes back to this concept of neuroplasticity and creating new neural pathways, which your brain needs to encounter the aging process. Novelty is necessary even while exercising a high degree of self-discipline in what you're doing, personally and professionally. So this is one of those multifaceted things where at the core of it is self-discipline. And tangential to that is self-leadership, which I had already covered. And so this is kind of a structured set of behaviors and practices that every one of us can do, but it's a lesson learned. It's something that has to be committed to, and you've got to figure out why you want to commit to it. And that is the more difficult thing. For me, it was easy. It's like I have sailors to the left and the right of me who are going to depend on me to be self-disciplined so that we can get our job done, so that we can accomplish the mission. So for me, it was the bigger we that helped me develop the self discipline to be successful, to build a career in the U.S. Navy, active and reserve, and ultimately be able to share this with you and encourage you to look at it and go, is this something that I can adapt for myself? And if the answer is yes, then hey, you know what? There's lots of great books, lots of great learning out there that can help you walk through this. For me, it was the boot camp experience. I would not advise anybody go that route unless you're really serious about being in an environment that it's going to test you and challenge you and ultimately force you to make choices about how quickly you grow, both personally and professionally. It's a crucible. There are many other ways to get there. I just found for me that going through boot camp in the Navy was my path. So, self discipline, life lesson learned. You can get there. You've got to be committed to it. And that's another episode of Tim Unscripted and a life lesson learned.